300 little grannies going around.
Angus.
Yes, yeah.
I've seen the movie twice, and both times I jumped at that bit.
Probably Angus.
I was going to say that. You took the words out of my mouth.
Probably Angus. He was very
Always
spontaneous. Yeah, always up for a fun time. He was such a joy to have on set. And also like that scene in the movie where he's wearing the mask when he's waiting for Sammy, Catherine's character, in the bed. That was his idea. Like, he wanted to scare her.
That bit scared me when I was watching it. I jumped. Yeah. I've seen the movie twice, and both times I jumped at that bit.
I think it's one of the best jump scares in the movie, and that was fully like his idea.
You know what's so funny about that question is that because we were making, we weren't trying to scare each other, really.
Yeah, I remember one time though. What Angus,
did he try to scare
you? Yeah. You know, he was doing something.
Then Angus.
Yeah, we'll say Angus.
But he was trying to what? What was
no, he's like, you come behind the wall and he's just there. It's like, Angus, like, come on. Like, bro, we're in a haunted mansion. This is scary.
He was magnetic. He was like such a light. Yeah, we're all very sad that he's no longer with us, but we're so like honored and grateful that we got to know him and that we got to work with him and that we have this, movie to dedicate to him, and he would have loved it. I think he would have had a blast. He would have been laughing so hard watching it. Alisha here. You were probably, I end up pretty covered in blood too, but you from very early on were covered in blood. We just got used to seeing her covered in blood the entire time.
Yeah, the tutu never was clean.
Yeah.
The first scene that I'm in the tutu and that you see Abigail in the tutu, it still has blood on it.
Yeah, that's
right. It was never clean.
Yeah.
I seen a rack one day and it had it like clean. They had about 3 or 4 cleans. I don't know why, because it's never seen clean, but then it just got a little bit of blood, very bloody. Then every single dress got more bloody and more bloody. And then the very last tutu, it wasn't white at all. It was red. It was fully red. There was no bits of white in it at all.
Probably Alisha.
Yeah, Alisha.
Alisha was constantly covered in blood. Mm-hmm. Underneath the blood and the menace, is this sweet face and this sweet little voice. Hello, just lovely little Irish girl, and it was quite a juxtaposition. But I'd have to say her.
Yeah, because and Catherine had a moment too,
though. She was covered.
She was covered. She was getting out of the pool of bodies.
Yep, that's true.
So she had a moment.
Probably Catherine.
Yeah.
I feel like probably Catherine. She's hilarious, but I feel like she's the kind of person that will like talk without thinking and then be like, was I supposed to say that?
Angus.
Yeah, totally. I was thinking the same thing. Angus, because he was kind of like, that character. And him, they were just on a different plane. When something would be a secret, he'd be like, "What?" Angus?
That would definitely be Angus.
Angus, and a lot of times he would have us laughing, and it was almost like he didn't realize that he was being funny.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Dan.
Yeah.
Dan is so funny, and he's so witty.
And Dan.
He would improvise a lot and make us all crack in scenes. So there's going to be a lot of bloopers that are going to be very fun to watch in the DVD or the Blu-ray or whatever.
I mean, he went through, I think he went through like about 16 different takes on what he was calling her. He was like, Katerina Ballerina. Mm-hmm. He had a whole list of them, and every take he would crack us up because we were trying to hold it together.
Mm-hmm. And then you'll see Melissa, like, he'll throw a new name at her.
Oh, God.
And then she'll be trying so hard not to break, and then she'll just bust up laughing.
So why are you doing this to me? There was a lot of room to play. Yeah. And I think at times we would all get on and play, but definitely, I mean, Angus and Dan had the most improvisations. Yeah. Angus, sometimes we'd be doing the scene, and we had been doing the scene for like a couple hours, and all of a sudden he would just come in somewhere and say something, and you were like, oh my God, they're so brilliant.
It's not that a lot of the movie was improvised, but we were allowed to improvise within scenes to add little,
Explore.
Yeah, to explore and to add, little, a lot of the one-liners, I think, are improvised. Matt and Tyler really like to let the actors kind of play and find things, and I think that's why the movie ended up being so funny. What everybody brought to the characters was pretty incredible. Like,
Everyone suited their character.
yeah, everyone suited the character, but also like did it in a surprising way that's not the cliche.
I'd say you.
Me?
Uh-huh. I'd say if you, yeah.
I'll
I'd
take that
say
as a
you.
compliment. I'll say you. We can be partners until
Yeah.
we're 300.
300 little grannies going around.
Maybe Melissa.
Maybe Melissa.
Yeah. But I would like to live to 300 though. I would,
Yeah.
So maybe
Yeah.
something
We're,
happens.
we're aiming for it. I'm
Yeah.
getting you into the cold, right?
Yeah.
We're doing cold immersion. We're training.
Yeah,
we're
there we
trying
go.
to eat right.
There we go.
We're all we're both trying to get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Probably Peter. He really wants to accomplish what they're setting out to do, but more than that, he wants to get to the whiskey and to the bourbon and to whatever hard liquor is sitting in that awesome bar.
Maybe Kevin.
I was gonna say Kevin. Kevin is so funny too.
He's like a gentle giant.
Yeah, but he's like a child. Like, I feel like he would, and he's also so big that he would probably knock something off, do something. Very well intentioned, like the best human. But yeah, probably him.
And ballet. Oh. I studied ballet. You would never know that.
You would never know that. Wow.
I studied ballet, jazz, mostly hip hop, and I did my rounds in music theater
There
for a
you
long
go.
time.
There
Yeah.
you go.
So you probably wouldn't think that Peter would be able to do a pas de deux with someone, but yeah.
Yeah. But Kathy's trained though too.
Kath, yeah, but you see it in
You
her
see it.
dance.
You did. You definitely see it. in her
She's such a dancer.
dance. Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I had my Capizios.
Oh, he was on.
Yeah, I was on.
That's a mean one, but I feel like I'm gonna say Giancarlo Esposito, just because of his character. Because he shot for like 3 days and then he was gone. So I think
It's
he's
like his character in the.
yeah, I think he'd be like every man for himself, and he'd just be like, I'm out, you guys deal. No, but he's very sweet, and I wish we had more time with him because he was in and out so quick. But he did such an amazing job in the movie.
Dan.
I was thinking Dan. Yeah, Dan.
Yeah.
Definitely Dan.
Dan, the man.
Dan.
That's his master plan.
Yeah.
Leave the others in the quicksand.
Dan.